Welcome back. Today we're unpacking a once-in-a-generation shift in finance. What's happening now will decide whether the next global financial system runs on open blockchains or government-controlled databases. Bitcoin, stablecoins, and smart contract platforms like Ethereum and Solana are no longer fringe experiments. They are becoming core financial infrastructure. Let's start with the SEC's bombshell announcement. The Bitcoin 2025 Conference Announcement. SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce laid out the crypto regulation priority list. First, stablecoin market structure clarity. Why this order matters. You can't build a crypto financial system without a stable currency. Stablecoins solve that. Buccaneer crypto comes second because it unlocks investment clarity for exchanges and funds. Bitcoin reserves are last because once the system is running, Bitcoin becomes the strategic safety net. Internal SEC politics. Gensler is still resistant, but voices like Peirce and growing bipartisan pressure are shifting the tide. The SEC is going from enforcement only to creating a pathway for legitimate crypto finance. From anti-crypto to pro-financial innovation. Trump once dismissed crypto as a scam. Now he's positioning himself as the leader who will integrate it into the U.S. economy. The genius stablecoin bill, being described as the most comprehensive stablecoin legislation yet. What requires full treasury backing or equivalent safe reserves, establishes a licensing framework that brings stablecoins into the banking system. Why Trump wants this bill passed fast, lets the US dollar go global without relying on banks, and tallying China's digital yuan and Russia's de-dollarization push. Silicon Valley and Wall Street ahead of the election. The PayPal mafia's quiet influence. Peter Thiel, David Sachs, and Balaji Srinivasan are rumored to be pushing Trump to embrace crypto. They see stablecoins as a way to preserve U.S. tech dominance. The numbers tell the story. $250 billion today, projected to exceed $2 trillion this decade. Stablecoins are already the 12th largest holder of U.S. treasuries. Top stablecoins. Why stablecoins matter. Timber. Make the U.S. dollar programmable and accessible worldwide. 10. Power remittances, DeFi, institutional settlements, and cross-border trade. 10. Lets the U.S. financial system stay competitive in the digital age. The traditional finance on-ramp. Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, and banks are integrating stablecoins. Circle's partnerships with BlackRock and Coinbase are bringing stablecoins into institutional finance. Why Bitcoin is a hedge, not controlled by any government. Fixed supply, transparent monetary policy, and global acceptance. Nations and corporates accumulating. MicroStrategy and a few small nation-states have led the way. Expect sovereign wealth funds and central banks to add Bitcoin over time. Bitcoin versus gold. Bitcoin's portability and verifiability give it a technological edge over gold. If U.S. balance sheets add Bitcoin, it will signal global legitimacy. What market structure means. Clear definitions for what counts as a security, a commodity, and a payment token. Protection for exchanges, custodians, and investors. Wall Street's crypto play. BlackRock, Fidelity, J.P. Morgan, and Citadel are ready to deploy capital into tokenized markets. Expect more ETFs, derivatives, and tokenized bonds. The real prize. tokenized TradFi. Securities settlement, repo markets, commodities, and foreign exchange will move to blockchain rails. Creates 24/7 markets with lower costs and faster settlements. Why Ethereum is the RWA leader. Institutional familiarity, strong DeFi ecosystem, and compliance tools. BlackRock's tokenized funds launched on Ethereum. Solana's fast, cheap advantage. Payments and real-time markets could favor Solana. Visa and Stripe are already piloting on Solana. Other RWA leaders: Chainlink, price feeds and identity; Centrifuge, private credit; Maple, on-chain lending; Goldfinch, emerging market debt. Crypto as a national security issue. U.S. wants dollar-denominated stablecoins to outcompete the digital yuan. Open blockchains align with democratic values. CBDCs align with authoritarian control. Who controls the financial rails of the future? The U.S. has an opportunity to lead, but it must act fast. China, Russia, and emerging markets are exploring alternatives. The future of sanctions and trade. Stablecoins and Bitcoin will change how nations conduct sanctions, trade deals, and aid transfers. 3 big predictions. 1. Stablecoins become the default global payment rail, dwarfing PayPal and SWIFT. 2. Bitcoin becomes part of several national and corporate balance sheets as a reserve asset. 3. Ethereum and Solana dominate the tokenization of global finance, but the race isn't over. Crypto as a national security issue. U.S. wants dollar-denominated stablecoins to outcompete the digital yuan. Open blockchains align with democratic values. CBDCs align with authoritarian control. Who controls the financial rails of the future? The U.S. has an opportunity to lead, but it must act fast. China, Russia, and emerging markets are exploring alternatives. The future of sanctions and trade. Stablecoins and Bitcoin will change how nations conduct sanctions, trade deals, and aid transfers. 3 big predictions. 1. Stablecoins become the default global payment rail, dwarfing PayPal and SWIFT. 2. Bitcoin becomes part of several national and corporate balance sheets as a reserve asset. 3. Ethereum and Solana dominate the tokenization of global finance, but the race isn't over. Mash that like button and subscribe if you're ready for this next chapter of finance. Drop a comment. Will Trump's crypto pivot reshape the financial system? And check out these next videos on RWA cryptos and the rise of stablecoins in emerging markets. Thanks for watching. This is Digitalization, signing off.